got enough love for that brother. I'm coming to the motherland at some point, and I'm gonna chop it up with him. But Stone Cold Steve Austin, you made a lot of folks mad. You made a lot of folks mad because you told them that the pH was off. And they got mad also because what they saw was emotional damage. Hold on.
Emotional
Give the people what they want. Yeah, see, also been flexing on them birds. Also been all around the world telling them they got to give the people what they want. And I think a lot of people have a problem with you, Austin, because the world is not used to black men flexing. What would you say about that?
Right now, my optimal goal is to teach men, in specific black men, but not black men only, all men from the United States or any Western country, how they can flex by going abroad and getting a better options.
Yes, sir. Right.
Abroad are better.
Mm-hmm. And you know, they come with the shaming language, Austin. The shaming language, the minimization. You know, you're gay, all kinds of stuff. And it was funny to me because there was somebody that said that you were trolling. I don't think you were trolling. Ever since I've known you, and even if you was trolling, it don't matter because it's true. You talked about African women, and I'm gonna show you in a minute because you know them noshes are straight pressure, man. But Kendra G got triggered when you were talking about this. Hold on for a minute. Hold on.
In the middle of the night, I'm not doing that.
I'm out, yeah. Baby, you my only number one, got it. Even in my down times, I can get you out of my mind, sorry. Hey, I done run 1,000 days just to find you in my way. Oh, 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 oh. Nothing like you in this world. Promise never let it go. Oh, wait. Oh, 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 oh. Baby, won't
The world, Austin, ain't used to black men flexing. You have learned how to flex. And, you know, I said earlier, Austin, the thing that a lot of men need is power. Power, freedom, belonging, and survival. The title to the top says survival. That was by the OJs. It says you got to give the people what they want. I want you to tell the audience what you've been experiencing in Peru, Africa, the motherland, and the broader continent, because some are making assume that I heard Kendra G said that you try to use her channel for subs. You don't need Kendra G. You're close to 100,000 subs, so it's weird to me because Kendra G's style is similar to Kevin Samuels. She's taking some of Kevin's talking points, which I don't have a problem with, by the way, and she sort of flipped her content and her style more akin to Kevin Samuels. But when you hear people say a man that got close to 100,000 subs, that, you know, more or less trying to assert that you need or trying to use her, what do you say about that, brother?
You said it right the first time. I don't need Kendra G. To be honest, the only reason I went over there, two reasons. Mm-hmm. My subs donated for me to go there. My subs know that I don't waste their money.
Right.
If they donate, if they give me money, I'm going to use it for what they ask.
Right.
Number two, I'm back in the States. And my purpose is being reignited because I've been out of touch with the reality here.
Right.
And when I came back, I was like, oh, it really is that bad.
Right.
I'm like, I just went around the world to 21 countries, had a good time. Some countries weren't the best for me, but when I got here, I was like, maybe I'd rather be in Ghana. Right. Maybe I'd rather be in Argentina. Maybe I'd rather be in the Philippines. Maybe I'd rather be in Senegal, Vietnam, because those are the places that I probably got the least amount of action from the locals. Mm-hmm. I usually got action from outsiders, other foreigners there. Right. The culture just wasn't for me in those places. But we were already approaching 1,000 subs a week. We didn't need, when I got to United States, I had 95,000 subs.
Right.
I'm at 98.
Mhm.
We didn't need Kendra G to push. We're gonna get to that 100 regardless.
Yeah, you're gonna get to it regardless, right?
And to be honest, we didn't get that kick that we thought we would have. I'm gonna have to use other content creators. The real kick is gonna come from other content creators reacting,
sir.
to it,
Right.
not from her channel.
Right. And you know, I want to thank you, man. Ever since I've known you, brother, you've been a stand-up guy. If you say you're gonna do something, you do it. I respect you highly. Send me your cash. I'm gonna shoot you some love too, man.
Thank you.
Because I'm gonna shoot you some love because you didn't have to come through, and I appreciate it. So send me your cash app. I'll get you on the back end, and I appreciate it. But you know, you've been in multiple countries, Austin. You've been in multiple countries. We're gonna critique this Kendra G video in a minute. But you've been to Kenya, you've been to Tanzania, you've been to Peru. You had a video, Austin, that got 11 million views when you said something. I don't know what it was, but what was this video, this little short that you got that got 100 million views, 11 million views? What was the whole essence of that clip, brother?
So I was just doing my typical daily me walking around this city IRL stream where I just show what I'm doing throughout the whole day. And I stopped by a restaurant that was nearby the gym I was at, and I saw a pretty server. Well, she wasn't a server, she was a hostess. So I told her, come here. And she came over and she just had the perfect energy, beautiful eyes, and she was just engaged.
Right.
And I posted it on Twitter and I was like, fellas, like, this is femininity. Get your passports. I never said anything about Black women.
Right.
And who's in the comments? American women talking about y'all should report him to the Peruvian immigration department or whatever they said, the immigration or the embassy, and they'll keep an eye on him. For what?
For what? Right.
Yeah. Right. So that it was just I noticed like, hey, she has good energy. I'm already on live. Let me pull out my camera and record it on my other camera. And it did a great job. And the second video did a great job as well.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Shout out to my man Marcus to be for the 2. Shout out to him for the 2. He said, "Will on the fire. Hope it's all as well, brother. No doubt." Shout out to my man. Shout out also to my man, the Quiet Storm, for the 5. He said, "International Quiet Storm." Nothing said. But I want to show you something, man. Now let's get into this Kendra G video because I think Kendra got triggered, Austin, like some of these women do when men like yourself that are high value have options. I think they get triggered when you have standards or when you can travel and do what you want to do. I think she got somewhat triggered. And we're going to break this thing down because
the Wi-Fi is bad.
Another fellow therapist of mine broke it down and said that she said that you were handsome. But it's something called a narcissistic trait. It don't mean that because narcissists can be men or women, but a lot of American women have the traits. They're not necessarily full-blown narcissists. But she said that you were handsome. That's what she said. She said that you were handsome. That's what she said.
Yeah.
But then when you start saying what you want, I want you to watch your body language. Hold tight.
Okay, I think it's better. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Austin. Okay, you look good. How old are you, Austin?
I'll be 25 in 2 weeks.
25 in 2 weeks. So you're a Taurus. When's your birthday?
May 16th.
That's not 2 weeks. My birthday's 2 weeks. That's 3 weeks.
2.5.
Okay, you have Gina Jackson's birthday.
Yes, I do.
I know. I'm May 7th. I know.
And I think Kendra struggled with that, man. I think Kendra, when she found out you had Janet Jackson's birthday, man, she was struggling inside her head. And she was trying to say this. I think Kendra wanted to control when she found out you was on that your birthday was the same as Janet. But we're gonna break this down. Hold tight.
I love Gina Jackson. All right, let's do it. So we got Austin, 25. Well, 2024, be 25 May 16th. What do you do for a living?
I'm a YouTuber as well.
Oh, you're a YouTuber.
Hold tight.
I don't consider myself a YouTuber, but I respect that. That's what you consider yourself.
Well, I guess I am
a YouTuber. I consider myself a journalist, but I understand. I'm
a journalist.
So what did you think about what she said when she said that, Austin, that
that she's a journalist?
Right. She said she's a journalist. and she might be a professional journalist by trade, but you're being a journalist by, you might not be what's called a technical journalist, but you all journaling, do vlogging, and sharing your stories on the internet. But how would you respond to what she said, man?
Well, if she's a journalist, I'm glad that she's taking a Tucker Carlson route and going from journalism to YouTube.
Right.
I'm glad she was able to monetize on her own. Shout out to her for that.
Right.
But at the same time, what I felt at the time was, it seemed like when I said I was a YouTuber, that she was almost trying to undermine. Like, you know, when you tell people, oh, I'm a YouTuber, and they're like, oh, so what do you really do?
Right.
I'm like, this is my job. I actually do this on a daily basis. This is how I live. I'm a YouTuber. And it felt like she was trying to undermine that.
Right. And that's something called devaluation. Something that a lot of women do when men have standards, or when men say the things that they want to say or the things that they want to do. Many do that. They get triggered. They devalue you and devalue your talking points. Shout out to my man, the International Quiet Storm, showing love. He says support black male media, support to brother Austin. Austin, drop your cash app in the link, man. Guys, show Austin some love. I'm gonna send him some love too. I'll get you on the back end, Austin. And then MC Recovery said Kendra eggs is frozen. This is a man deal. Shout out to that. But based on the conversation, Gregory Scholar and my man, the International Quiet Storm, are the #1 sponsors of the stream. And thank you for your large donation, brother. I really appreciate it. And you are the #1 sponsor of the stream. I think this brother said it best. They want you to be a strong man and a simp at the same time. But guys, y'all hit the cash app. Show Austin some love. Austin's doing a lot of good work traveling abroad, and I really appreciate everything that he's doing. Let's finish listening to what she's saying. I want to break down her critique of you. Hold tight.
I've said that as well.
Okay, but do you want me to call you a YouTuber or a journalist?
I want you to call me Austin Holloman.
The question is, what do you do for a living, honey?
YouTube.
Okay. Do you have any kids?
I would hope not.
So also, what did you think about her demeanor, man? And what do you say to your critics that you were trying to egg on? It was funny to me.
She didn't. So when I said I hope not, that was a form of sarcasm, me just being funny. You know, I would hope not. Like, that's not like a serious answer. Right. And for her to have a YouTube platform about a useless topic like this topic that she's doing is pretty much useless. Like, it's the reason I say it's useless because there's no solution to it.
Right.
You have to add some sort of entertainment to it. So I was like, oh, I hope not. She could have. I've said that many times. People just laughed on it and went to the next question. Right. But she got her body language and her tone showed she was a little more annoyed with that.
Right. But she's sarcastic at times. If you listen to Kendra G, y'all, Tauruses are known to be sarcastic. I got my daughter's one. Hold tight.
There's no.
No.
Okay. And where you calling me from?
Dallas.
All right, let's get into it. We got Austin, Dallas, 25. Almost 25, May 16th. He's a YouTuber, no kids, lives in Dallas. What kind of woman are you looking for?
I'm looking for black women that have respect for black men.
Which I didn't have a problem with that. What's wrong with you saying, I want a black woman that has respect for black women? What's wrong with that?
Because if she would have said that, or if a black woman would have said that, it would have been hooray and balloons and ice cream.
Right.
But when I say it now, because she doubled back after it and said, oh, so you're saying black women don't have respect for black men? Which I didn't say that, but to be honest, yes.
Right. They don't, not on a consistent basis, and you're gonna see why in a minute based on the comments that she said. because what she said was very misandric when you minimize black men, especially because your daddy black. But watch this, hold tight.
Ooh. So you think black women don't have respect for black men?
Check this out. I've been all around the world, and I'm gonna tell you, Afro-Latinas and Africans got y'all beat.
Now that was the emotional damage, Austin. Hold on. That was the emotional damage. That was the scheme affliction. And you came out boldly like Austin 316. That was the emotional damage. Hold tight.
Give the people what they.
You know, one of the things I love about you, man, you're confident, man. You're confident. You could care less and you're very stoic. Have you evolved to become that way, or have you always been that way?
I've always been that way since I was 6 years old, as long as I can remember, because my parents are like that.
Mm-hmm. And what's been the benefits of that, and what's the negatives to being stoic, in your opinion?
The negatives to being stoic is at times I can not have emotion when I should, but whenever I am in a situation where I'm being critiqued like this, or if me being triggered can make me look like like I don't have control over my emotions, it works in my favor because I have total control over it.
Right. And I don't think they're used to it. I think they struggle with it. Hold tight.
Got us beat. And how do they have us beat?
On every front.
Then why not just beat them and be happy?
And now, you just gave your response. You just say they got you beat on every front. And she said, why not just date them? You are dating them. What's your response on what she said?
Well, my thing is, I went on a show to date a Black American woman. Why are we digging into my preferences?
Right.
Why are we? Because I legitimately wanted to go on there because I've been having a difficult time around here in Dallas. So I was like, maybe people say it's different in other cities. Well, let me find out. Right. She has viewers from all over the country. Let me find out. Why are we digging into other ethnicities? Right. I want to be hooked up with somebody just like she did everybody else.
Right. I totally agree. Right.
I live in Latin America. I'm just here to get my paperwork so I can stay going from y'all.
But what I'm saying is, listen, I have whatever your desire is. So if you found the type of woman that wants to date you the way you want to be dated, why not just focus on her? What would be the point of coming up here to ask for a Black woman that you don't really feel?
I'm still trying while I'm here, so I want to see if my mind can be changed.
No one cares, Austin. No one cares about changing your damn mind, honey.
Really?
We're not going to work that hard.
So nobody has the interest in changing my mind.
No, it's not about nobody having interest. You said you found a group of women that have the interest, a group of women that you like. We're not mad at it. You should date those women. I mean, you came on dissing Black women.
Well, hold up. How's that a diss when African and Afro-Latina women are from the continent? Educate me, man. They're all from the continent. They're all Black women.
Yeah, they're all Black.
In her mind, she's thinking only American Black women, but she say this. And here's the problem that I have with Kendra. Kendra's shows are predicated, Austin, on talking about the behaviors of modern Black women. Kendra has also parroted some of Kevin Samuel's talking points to talk about the behaviors of modern Black women. So I struggle with the cognitive dissonance. What would you say about that? I struggle with that.
About her using Kevin Samuel's talking points?
Well, she used his talking points, and she made a little snarky comment on the end about people using her content. But she's used his talking points, meaning to talk about the behaviors of many modern black women. We know this not all, Austin, but when you gotta when you go from one locale to the other locale and you're seeing the similar behaviors over and over and over again, that's a problem in my opinion. What would you say about that?
I would agree. It's just like whenever people tell me to go to, like I said, when they tell me to go to different cities, and this is why I haven't traveled outside of Dallas, is because we're in the same country. You know, in New York, I've met women from New York in Medellin, and I just said hello, and they were like, hello.
Right.
And I asked them if they had an Instagram for me to follow them, and they literally raised their voice like, why would we have an Instagram? We're 40 years old. We don't have that.
Right.
But when I go to Latin America, I can ask other black women from a different country. They look just like them. Do they have that? And it's no problem. Yeah, you can follow me, even if they're in a relationship, which I wouldn't agree with.
Right.
But they will still, and even if they reject me, it's not so harsh. There's definitely a difference between the two ethnicities.
What is the biggest difference that you see? Is it the soft skills, the decorum, the flexibility, the cooperation? What would you say is the biggest difference that you see?
Well, it's a number of them, but overall it's femininity. They respect men. I've never been over talked in Latin America. I've never been cut off in Latin America. They never cut me off in the middle of a sentence. They wait till I'm done talking to listen. They have good listening skills. They're in the gym. You know, they take care of their physical appearance. They know that men are attracted by the physical.
Right.
They've improved their physical enough to attract the mate that they want versus here.
Right.
Take me as I am and take me with the attitude as well. And you should pay top dollar for that. And that's just, if you write that down on paper, who's going to buy that?
I totally agree. Take me as I am, and but then don't want to change. It's almost like taxation without representation. I want to tax you to death, but I don't want to give you what you want. And you know, and I know, Austin, that women are better and men are better when they have a feminine woman. During your tenure in the various countries you went to, Tanzania, Peru, Argentina, Ghana, what country mesmerized you the most? What country gave you that mesmerizing feeling where the femininity was overwhelming?
I'm gonna forever, so far out of 21 countries, it'll be Brazil.
Okay.
Brazil had out of all races, but especially it stuck out the most with black women because that was my primary selection anywhere in the world. But no matter where I'm at in the world, if I see a black woman, I'm going to speak. In Brazil, they smile. It just seems like they want to be entertained by you.
Right.
And people love to say, "Oh, that's just because you know they just see you as this. They're foreigners, so they just see you as money, this and that." But I went to Bolivia, I went to Uruguay, I went to Peru, I went to other places, and you didn't get that same energy that you get in Brazil. So it's just in that culture in specific, they just love men. Like they actually, the same way we love women, but the women don't love us back. The same way we love women, they love men.
And what would you say to your critics that say they have no other choice? That's why they do it. That's not the case based on what I've seen, because I was in Brazil twice. But what do you say to your critics that they do that because they have no other choice or they are poor? I think that's a misnomer. But what would you say to your critics?
Listen, I've dated women in Recife, Brazil, that had a car, that had a good job in their own apartment. And the experience was no different than the women that lived in the favela. They were just as feminine, just as happy to see me, just as smiley. Everything was the same. You know, is that always the case? Maybe not, but I haven't experienced it.
And you talked about coming back here to America, man. You say it's really that bad. I want you to expound on that in a minute. But in the meantime, shout out to my man Greg Scotland once again for the $10 super chat. He said, "This is what I like about Austin. he does not get into the goofy back and forth conversational dialogue. Like when he went on Lapeef and they tried to press him, he remained cool and calm. I love your level of stoicism. You're very indifferent. Some would say it's awkward because they're not used to it, but I think more men need to personify that stoicism. How do the foreign women respond to your level of stoicism when you travel abroad, brother?
Let me just say this. It gives me the best results. The youth say is very masculine. I'm very controlled. I think that's part of the reason why I have the experience that I have is because they're further allowed to relax in their femininity. Versus in the United States, listen, I've been stoic for years. This is nothing new. I've been like this for over a decade.
Right.
And it's never enough. Like there's still, it's not impressive to them. And it's not that I'm trying to impress them, but it's not impressive. I'm just at a point where I'm like, what can you do to feed them, to even get them to be happy?
I'm going to show you something awesome real quick, and we're going to get back into it. But you talked about the power of femininity. You've been in various countries in Asia. You've been to Thailand. You've been to Vietnam. You've been to Cambodia. I don't think you've been to China yet. But you've seen Asian or Southeast Asian femininity. You got negative masculine women like, what's this lady name? Leslie Jones. Leslie Jones said this whole time.
Dudes and these passport bros, y'all don't woman correctly. And then when she tell you that, now she ain't shit. No, go look. I bet you it'll solve a lot of problems between us. Cause y'all don't know how and you mad cause we do.
This is the best mental health promo I ever heard in my life.
I'm being honest with y'all.
Embrace your dick.
Hey, girl, you gonna eat your cornbread?
Don't say that. You talking to me? Yeah, I think you're talking to you.
腰はひねって S 字型。
Asian femininity also. What does that mean to you, man? What does it mean to be inspired by an Asian woman, brother? Getting that Asian femininity. What does that mean to you, man?
So I'll tell you about a few Asian women that I dated, but they were very soft-spoken. They gave off a very innocent vibe. They were almost like a nurse.
Right.
Like it was their duty to care for you.
Right.
It was all about you, and that's just part of their culture.
What country would you say personified that more from an Asian country perspective?
I would say, in my experience, it was in between Vietnam and Cambodia. Like both times, they would order my food because I didn't know the language. Right. But at times, they would feed me the food. They would show me, they were interested in showing me about the culture and about why this food is like this and how you should eat it in specific. They just, man, let me just say, Asian women in Vietnam and Cambodia did everything right. Everything.
Wow. Over Thai women.
Yes, and I say that because Thai women have a lot of access to foreigners. So I wouldn't say that they do, but maybe they take it a little more for granted now.
And what do you mean by taking it more for granted? Explain.
It's just like whenever I read in the 48 Laws of Power about how the knight went off to war and his wife missed him and she would write letters and et cetera, et cetera. And then when he came back, she would love him. And then after he was there for a while, she would start to become naggy and she would start to resent him a bit. It's just like the foreigners that go to Thailand. Like at first I'm pretty sure 30 years ago, it's like, oh, like, we got Americans here and we love them. Now there's no shortage of Americans. So now it's just like, oh, it's just I have another one. They take it for granted. Like, oh, I have another one. Like, I don't have to do it the same way. I'm not saying Thai women are like that, but I've ran into that more in Thailand than the other countries. Right.
Because there's too many simps in the ecosystem. Simping in the ecosystem, how much simping have you seen in Thailand? And we'll get back to the video. But out of the countries that men simp the most in, as it relates to Thai, Cambodia, and Vietnam, where do you see it at the most?
I would say I see it in Thailand the most because Thailand is a place where dudes just go more so for a fun time. In the Philippines, it seems like dudes actually go there to be with those women. Like the dudes I met in the Philippines, they actually had girlfriends. Versus in Thailand, seemed like they were just running through Thai women. You know, Vietnam too. The chicks I met, the dudes I met in Vietnam had Vietnamese girlfriends. The same in Cambodia.
And so loyalty, who would you say are who are more loyal, Thai, Cambodians, or Vietnamese?
Vietnamese, 100%.
All right, tell the audience why.
It's just a part of their culture. They don't, pay for play is not legal there. It's not legal in Thailand either, but it's not celebrated. Because in Thailand it's illegal too, but it doesn't seem like it's illegal. In Vietnam, it seems like you have to be a little careful with that. So that being said, the dudes that go there actually have to have a purpose to deal with those women. And those women show that same energy back that they like. I went on a date with a Vietnamese woman. I didn't get a kiss from her. I got a hug, and that was it.
Right.
And she wanted to go out again. And if I was in the States, I wouldn't take that. I'd be like, oh, she just gave me a hug. But I could tell by the energy and the way how she moved, like she was into me, but it was just who she was. She wasn't willing to just do that, sleep with me or anything, or just kiss me right after that.
Right. That's a good thing. She's conservative. Would you say that's a good thing?
Yeah, that is a good thing. If you're looking for a relationship, that's a great thing.
Right. Shout out to Austin Holloman by Afro National. He says, salute Austin, the Culture Clinician. Like and subscribe to the Culture Clinician. Support our scholars. Keep pushing kings. That's a $5 for you, Austin. Shout out to Afro National. I got some more questions for you, but I'm going to get back into it. Thank you for your love, Austin. But I'm going to finish breaking this thing down because you've been away from America for how many years? About a year now, right? 2 years?
18 months, so about a year and a half.
Wow, you've been gone for a long time. Hold tight.
And that they were not.
I didn't say that. I never said that.
You said that. Well, you said that you were looking for a Black woman that has respect for Black women, and you said Afro-Latino and African women have you beat. So my thing is, you should focus on those group of women then, since they have us beat, right?
Yes, but I'm in the United States right now.
Okay.
And so I like your comeback. Where did you get that rapid fire from, man? I love your comeback because she was trying to get you in the snag, and she snapped on the end. But we'll get to it. But why was that retort so important in your opinion?
I'm gonna tell you why I was able to get that snap back so quick like that. Because it's more difficult to get action from women here in the States. They call that semen retention. If you know the longer you retain, the quicker your thoughts are, the more energy you have. And it's more important for a situation like that where somebody's trying to get you in an I got you moment. But she's trying to say like, well, why don't you go back? I bought my flight here and I bought my flight out at the same time.
Right.
I didn't have plans on staying here. So why don't you go back? Don't worry, I will be going back. And I will be influencing more men to go back with me.
And the thing I struggle with, Austin, instead of them striving to become the women that men want, they don't strive to become the things that men want. They double down on their narcissistic traits. Because also many of them have a condition called cognitive dissonance. They have severe cognitive dissonance, and this is what it looks like.
Cognitive dissonance is a condition that happens for a myriad of reasons. Many times in modern America, men and women often do one of the following. They deny the evidence. They become enraged when you present them with the evidence. They argue to ad hominem attacks, meaning they attack the messenger instead of the message. And they will fight you or flee because they cannot hear what you are saying. A condition such as this, tied into cognitive dissonance, often happens to those that have or lack self-awareness. They stay in a perpetual cycle of arrested development, exhibited by this.
For a month, a year and 8 months, and you say it's really that bad. What have you seen to confirm what you've already knew about the West and American women?
Well, for example, when I'm in Bolivia, even though the people in Bolivia were rude, when I did find the people that weren't because they said they're rude like that because they have a tribal mindset. The ones that I did find that were nice, I meet them. They show me high interest. They're smiling. They're complimenting me. You know, when are you leaving? No, you should stay longer. You should stay longer than 10 days. Then I say, oh, okay, well, let's meet later today. You know, let's see, because I only have a one-way ticket. Let's see if I can stay later. They're on the date later that day. Mm-hmm. You know, they're hugging me. They're sitting in my lap. They're showing me that they're doing everything to show you that they want you around. Mm-hmm. Versus when I'm here, if I approach a woman, it's okay. Like the approaches I've done here is okay. Right. You know, you tell a woman like, hey, I thought you were beautiful. She's damn near gonna ask you why. You know, what made you approach me? Like, what makes you think I'm beautiful?
Right.
Why are you asking me that? Like, why can't you just take a compliment?
Right.
Then you get to message him like, hey, you know, I want to see you again. What are you doing later on, or what are you doing tomorrow? Either one you say, and then they can agree and they won't show up.
Right.
The foreign women show you that they want you because they'll show up. And when they show up, they show out. They smile. They give you direct eye contact. They give you butterflies in your stomach.
Mm-hmm. So the femininity is so raw that it's hypnotizing. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and yeah, I would agree. It's very hypnotizing. It's shocking. You know, it's unbelievable at times.
Right.
And even I've been going for 18 months, and I was in Colombia. I mean, I was in Peru and I was on a date with a Colombian, and just the way how she was looking at me was like, damn. You know, it was like, wow, like she really likes me. Like I can only count. I can, and I went on dates in the States too, but I can count on 2 fingers, you know, how many dates I went on that made me feel like that. So it's a true scarcity being here. But I want to point out one of these comments. Somebody said, but her point is, if it's so good abroad, why are you on her show? If you're happy, why are you on her show?
Yeah, go ahead and address that. You've already addressed it, but go ahead.
Like I said, I'm in the United States. This is technically like a journalism, like you said. I'm doing research. I don't hate Black American women. I don't hate American women in general.
Right.
But I do want to allow the opportunity to say, hey, all of them aren't bad. You may have to look until you go crazy, but all of them aren't bad.
Right.
And that's why I showed up on her show, because I genuinely wanted to just interact with a woman from a different city. Because I know in Dallas it is really that bad, but I want to interact in a different city.
Right. And you said, and there's nothing wrong with that. You got a right to, while you're into the States until you go back, to mingle. But sadly, they're confirming what you've already known about them. And like you said, they're getting worse. But you can tell by her body language that it's emotional damage. And you said something else, Austin, that's you talk about that pH. And Austin, we know why that pH is off. Because a lot of them they're angry, and they got a lot of pus, AKA skeet.
Loser ass nigga.
Your video with comments about a
He's a
certain
loser.
other female.
Just to let you niggas know, we don't need y'all. We want y'all, but we don't need you.
20 years later.
Our black men, we want all y'all back. Because we love you, we see you, kings. And most importantly, we need you. And most importantly, we need you.
And most importantly, we need you.
You can't.
If you a that's for the streets.
You can't delete the ski. You can't delete the ski.
I know a who used to suck dick every mother night.
You can't
delete your.
Yeah, Austin. They got a lot of pus in them, Austin. I think that's why they're so angry, man. They got all the DNA, all the men, to the point that pH is off. Let me ask you a question, man. Do foreign women sleep around? We know foreign women do in part, But do you think they sleep around from your experience? It's your anecdotal experience. We're going to say it again. It's your anecdotal experience. Do you think foreign women sleep around as much as American women? And if they do they give you a better girlfriend experience?
I would say with foreign women, you can pretty much have it all, right? If you're going there to sleep around, it's not hard to find it. No matter where you are. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. In most places that I've been to, you can find it. But at the same time, if you want to find a girlfriend, you can find that everywhere I've been. Everywhere I've been, you can find a girlfriend. In Latin America, more often than not, the women sleep around a lot because that's just part of their culture. Cheating is not a big deal over there.
Mm-hmm.
But in Africa, you're more likely to find somebody. You can actually find a woman that'll move in with you, stay at home. If that's what you want her to do, she'll stay at home. Because that's another thing they like to say is like, oh, we want them to just be slaves and be in the house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, when you travel and you go to these places where your money multiplies by 5, you have options.
Right.
They don't have to stay in the house, but you have the option to allow them to stay in the house. To be honest with you, and a lot of women will say this, they want to stay in the house. Most women don't want to work.
Mm-hmm. And so when it comes down to hygienic cleanliness, would you say foreign women are more cleaner? And if so, what country would you say is the cleanest when it comes down to keeping their box clean? What would you say? What country?
I'd have to get that to Kenya.
Oh, wow. Kenyans.
I don't think I ran into even a musty box in Kenya.
Hold up. Are you serious?
I'm serious. That's one of the best places in the world to date.
Right.
They got it down.
So you mean Kenyans and well, hold up. My man Dr. Neil was in Kenya. You mean Kenyans and how about Tanzanian women?
Tanzania, the locals even told me like some chicks, it's more of a class thing. The chicks that you would find in the areas that you're at, you're not going to run into the issue, but the chicks in the lower class, yes. But the thing about Kenya is they could be low class, middle, or upper class. And I don't know what book they've read, but they got it down. They don't stink at all.
Wow. So they got it down to a science. Well, you know, I got a good friend, Dr. Neil. He was in Kenya. And let me show you this. Hold tight.
I've never said this before. I've never advocated for this before. I'm going to let Quentin and How To Man have it after this.
This is crazy.
I have never, ever said this that I'm about to say right now. And I didn't think that I would ever come to this point. It's time to get y'all passports.
Nairobi, New Year's Eve, 2023, going into 2024. Yeah. We're doing the damn thing, baby. You see what I'm saying? We're doing the damn thing. You ready?
In the middle of the night, I'm not doing that.
Amaru, yeah. Baby, you my only number one, got it. Even in my down times, I can't get you out of my mind, sorry. Hey, I done run 1,000 days just to find you in my way. Nothing like you in this world. Promise never let it go. Oh, wait. Baby, won't you?
So, Austin, you saw that African power, that African star. Check your cash out, brother. I got you. Check your cash out too. Did you get it?
Yes,
Austin,
sir.
You got
yes,
it.
sir. I got it. I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you, brother. But when you saw those beautiful African and Kenyan women, what thoughts are coming back to your head when you saw that, man? What thoughts are coming back to your head?
I got to get back over there. I've been to so that restaurant he's been to is called Oyster Bay. That is one of the best places in Nairobi you could go to find women. The women come that woman in the white dress, they come dressed like that every day of the week. And they come there looking for men. They're like hawks. Like that woman in the white dress that you just saw would come to that restaurant and she's looking for a man.
Right.
Now, whatever her intentions are or whatever they are, but I can tell you, you're not going to lose over there. You're not going to lose. So when dudes say, oh, like the African women are attractive, like, okay, you could think that. Don't go there. Don't go there. I'll enjoy it. Don't go there. But I'm telling you right now, that's one of the best places. I still have on my bracelet, my Kenyan bracelet right here.
What's the name of it? What's the name of the place?
Oyster Bay. That's Nairobi is one of the best places you can go to in the world.
Oyster Bay. Okay. I never heard of Oyster Bay. This brother said he thought that Asian women were the cleanest. They say Japanese. Well, you haven't been to Japan, have you?
No.
Okay, well, you got to check that out. I'm breaking this thing down, and hold tight.
There's those group of women live in the United States too.
And that's why I'm on your show
I guess
today.
my thing is like if you have a problem with black women, we're okay with it.
No. I don't. I've said many times on my channel, the issue is not specifically black women, it's American culture.
Well, I'm repeating what you said. And what you said was you want a black woman that has respect for black men. And then I said, okay, are you not finding that? And then you said other cultures had us beat. What kind of woman are you looking for?
I'm looking for black women that have respect for black men.
So you think black women don't have respect for black men?
Check this.
What country, Austin, would you say you got the most respect from, brother, when you were traveling? You got the most respect. Maybe I think you said Cambodia and Vietnam. But what country did you get the most respect from? Like, man, they gave you like mad respect. They gave you king respect.
Brazil.
Wow, you keep going back to Brazil. You're putting Brazil over the Asian countries. That's shocking. Tell me why.
Like I said, they do everything right. They don't cut you off. You know, they listen. They don't try to overtalk you. Anytime I've gotten into a disagreement with a Brazilian woman, she would always stop and say, "Look, I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to argue with you."
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're looking for sex, that's never going to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
There's not too many negatives in Brazil.
Right.
It's really not. Now, the growing feminism in the future may be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But right now,
Brazil is right. Is it femininity, curviness? What would you say make them stand out? Is all those things that I said?
yes, they're some of the most. They're probably, if not the most, they're some of the most, in my opinion, they're the most beautiful women in the world because they're 100% natural. Maybe some of them have fake breasts, but I don't know, man. They're in the gym. I mean, they go hard in the gym. They go harder than I do in the gym. So they have curves. Even the white girls build curves. I've seen white girls show their journey from when they're flat, but they want a man so bad. They will go in the gym and work their muscles out to the point where they're damn near going to hurt themselves. Get that physical attractiveness to attract the right mate.
Right.
And then, see, in the States, they'll have that, but then they'll realize that they're fine, so that femininity won't come along with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In Brazil, they still maintain and work on improving their femininity while they improve their body.
Wow, right. So they're very image conscious in Brazil.
Very, yeah. They actually have a beauty discrimination in Brazil. They discriminate each other by beauty.
Talk about that. Break that down more.
For example, the most, like, if you're beautiful, you have many job opportunities as opposed to the women that aren't as beautiful, which is everywhere in the world, but it's very serious in Brazil.
Right.
So the culture is very centered around, I need to be as fine as I can.
Right.
I need to be as beautiful as I can, not only to get the man, but to get the job I want. If I don't find that man.
So they value their men and they value masculinity. Let me ask you a question. What country would you say, Austin, is the most masculine? Hold on to that. Don't go nowhere yet, because I want to get back to it, because I want to lose Kendra G. But hold tight. Hold tight. Let me go back to the screen. Hold on.
I've been all around the world, and I'm gonna tell you, Afro-Latinas and Africans got y'all beat.
Got us beat, and how do they have us beat?
On every front.
You said other cultures have us beat. As a Black woman, I'm saying spend your time with them. We're okay. We're not upset.
And that's always the retort. We're not. You are upset, because if you weren't upset, then why does she on the back end lambast you and try to flex on Black men and say Black women run everything? You're nothing without a Black woman, and your mom is Black. That's delusional. But we're gonna get to it. Hold tight.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if anyone is gonna come and talk about us as a collective and say that we're not worthy enough, well, we bid you farewell.
I never said that. But I'll tell you this: since I've been back,
but even also, if you did say it, they say it all the time. Hold on. Do you hear what I say? Also, if you don't believe me, also, let me prove it to you, man. They say it all the time, also. Let me show you something. Because this is the hypocrisy. Hold tight, guys. Guys, this is the hypocrisy that I see and that Austin see. This is the hypocrisy that Austin and I both see. I want you guys to watch this.
Online of a dozen women being asked the following question: do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no. So why do you think that is?
Because men are useless.
Broadly speaking, I feel like men have proven largely useless. Like, I think in the political moment.
I mean, and by the way, I want to differentiate between straight men and gay men, because I think I would die without gay men.
Excuse me, the ABC network, which is hosting this show, would have canceled the show if it were a panel of men saying that women are useless. I see the producer right there. I wonder what you think about this one. Y'all would have called them misogynists, and the media would have destroyed the lives of those men. That's something to reflect on. And aside from that, everything you just said were emotional responses, but that's to be expected from a low IQ panel.
And you know, when they said that, Austin, once again, he got Austin 316, and they got emotional. Give the people what they. What do you think about that, Austin? Based on what this woman said, man, about men being useless, how would you respond to that?
Well, this goes back to when I said.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This goes back to whenever I said it's not a Black American woman problem. It's an American woman problem. It's an American culture problem. The culture allows them to be like that.
Right.
Because there were no Black women on that panel, but we've heard Black women say very similar things to that.
Right.
So that's what I was trying to tell Kendra yesterday, or the other day, was I've never personally or individually attacked Black women. I've never done that. I would love for somebody to find a video of me doing that.
Right.
I've never done that. I've always said American women. Then I moved to American culture the more I traveled, and I realized it was a cultural issue.
Right, it is a cultural issue. And you know what? Masculinity is valued in other countries. Would you agree?
There's a reason I was gone 18 months.
Right.
There's a reason I didn't come back.
Right. And would you say, Austin, that masculinity from other countries galvanized you in a positive way? And if so, how?
It made me, if you look at my pictures from when I was here versus before I was even a YouTuber, when you look at my pictures then versus now, it seems like I was trying to appease, trying to figure out how can I get women to like me, versus I went somewhere else and I was like, what I've been doing is good enough. I mean, you always have to self-improve. There's never going to stop. But what I've been doing is appreciated elsewhere in the world. So I became way more confident in myself. When I walked into a room, I was a lot more confident in myself. I've always been confident, but I was super confident. I mean, I got to one point where you couldn't tell me nothing.
Right.
And when I was in the States, we're gonna call it humbling now, but it's not humbling. It's actually emasculating, where you are constantly being emasculated for anything. When I'm texting, now that I'm back here and I can see the difference from around the world versus here, is when I'm texting women now, I'm actually thinking about what I'm saying versus naturally talking to them. Now I'm walking on eggshells. Now I have to use game and have to use a magic trick and try to say the perfect words to get her to even go on a date with me. Versus there, it was she saw me, she liked me. I flirted with her slightly in person, so she knew what was up. I want to see you later. She'll go out with me later. Here, there's no. It doesn't happen that way.
Right.
Even though she found you attractive, and you spoke properly to her, you still have to prove to her through text.
Right.
When she's gonna flake on you. Then you have to be willing to deal with that and go through the process again and then go on the date after being disrespected the first time.
So basically, you got to prove your worth to a commodity that never had to prove any value to you, but that said commodity has given her virtue to not one man, but multiple men, Austin. And then once she gives her value to a bunch of men, she wants you to... hold tight. She wants you to take care of not all her children, but all her children. That's how they say it in the South. She wants you to take care of all her children, Austin. She wants you to pay for her children, and to take care of them and raise them, and take care of all them nuggets, man. Let me ask you a question. In foreign countries, baby mamas, is it stigmatized in foreign countries?
Well, what do you mean by stigmatized?
Well, is it a negative? Like, we know women in Latin countries might have children out of wedlock, but I know it's not as bad in Africa. Not to my knowledge, it is. So no. Is it an omen? Is it something bad for women to have children out of wedlock in the motherland first, but also in Latin America?
I didn't run into too many single mothers, but I didn't hear them being talked about as bad. But now that you bring it up, I don't recall meeting too many women that already had kids.
Right.
It seems like over there in Africa, they were more. They actually would wait on that until they got married.
Mm-hmm. What you mean? You talking about having children?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay. All right. Let's get back to it, man. I'm gonna finish showing you. I got to ask you about the masculine country.
By the way, this guy in the comments says that he travels every month to Brazil. Okay, and he said he works with the women every other day. They are smart. They're highly intelligent. You can't run BS. Well, actually, that's a useless comment. Let's continue on. Go ahead and continue on what you're doing.
Okay. All right. Hold tight, brother.
Switch back over. That's why I'm here today.
Okay. Well, again, we can proceed. I'm just saying, from one Black person to another, go where you're appreciated. That's for everybody. Go where you're appreciated. Don't worry about it. If you found a culture or you found a human being that dates you and the way you want to be dated, spend your energy there. And that's for any single person.
I would agree.
Okay. So Austin, 25 YouTuber. Okay. So the question is, what kind of woman are you looking for? So you said a Black woman that doesn't disrespect Black men. Anything else?
That's the base of it.
Well, do you want to give examples in which ways that you have find Black women
so
are disrespectful?
By that, I'm saying she should be respectable when she talks to the man. She should be respectable with the man's time, his wants, and she should be considerate of his needs as well. Because it's always not one-sided. I hear in the United States it's always one-sided.
Well, I can ask you one more question just about the other ethnicities that you said have us beat. Have you dated them?
Yes, I have.
So what happened? Why are you not with them anymore?
My question is this. I'm traveling. If she just said, if you found somewhere or an ethnicity where you're happy with, go with them. Why is she digging into it further? Why is she asking me what do they do differently? If she's ready to dismiss me and say, oh, well, go over there. Why are you worried about what they do differently? You obviously don't care. Oh, it's on mute.
I say it's just a flex, brother. They do care. In the clinical, they call it reaction formation, but they care. They care that you're not giving them your non-sexual attention. They care that they no longer have power over you. Many American women have not been trained to be wives. They haven't been taught to be wives. They've been taught to be career women. Get your bachelor's, your master's, and your doctorate. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're serious about family, you need to put family above all things. They give the best years away to multiple men. They get used up by the top 20, top 10, top 15, top 20% men. They get a bunch of pus in them. Then after they give all their value away, they want you to come back and put a ring on their finger and not critique them. But prior to that, they critique you. They critique many of these men in the comments. They critique the blue-collar brothers. They tell good, hard-working brothers they don't make enough. You can be 5'6", you're too short. So they can have standards all day, which I don't have a problem with. But when the tables are returned or turned just like the soft guy era, and men show them how crazy they sound, then they get that narcissistic rage. I got two major questions. I'm going to finish getting through this because narcissistic traits is prevalent in a lot of American women. It appears that Thai women are becoming that way. I want you to expound upon that, and then also the most masculine country that you've been to in a minute. Let's get back to a hold tight.
So I can't commit, but I've experienced.
So why did those relationships end? Just because you were?
Oh, I got plenty on standby. They haven't ended yet.
They're on standby. This is like a plane. They're waiting to board.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some black kids, that's for sure.
Okay. Well, let's keep going. So,
I think she struggled with that, man. The fact that
she did.
Austin Holliman got them on standby. It's almost like they could be narcissistic and have standards, but if you match their energy, they struggle with it. You said she did. Expound on that.
Well, because like you said, they always talk about dating multiple men, keeping their options open. And now that I express that, what's the issue with that? And then her real problem was she couldn't get me because I wasn't saying, oh, like I went to Eastern Europe and I like white women the most. Right. I said Afro-Latinas, and then I said, oh, I'm gonna have some black babies. Mm-hmm. What can she say to that? Mm-hmm. What can she honestly say to that? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right, that's why after I got off, she decided to push that white women agenda on me.
But you know what I found weird, man? They contradict themselves so much, and they say, which you don't tell men who the hell they want. Men can date who they want to date. I wish a woman would tell me who I can date. I date who I want to date. If I was a single man, I do what I want to do. I'm not beholden to no damn community rules or no rules by no other men. Men don't tell me what to do. I do what I want to do as a man. If I want to date a pink woman, an Asian woman, a yellow woman, a white woman, or whatever, I'm going to do what I want to do. Because on the flip side, when they date other women, other men, Austin, I saw a black woman up in the park the other day, had a bottom shelf bread, and looked at me. I didn't really pay her no attention because I don't care. But they can date who they want to date. I don't care. But then when black men do it, then all of a sudden, black men are supposed to be extremely loyal at all times and don't question their motives or their motivations. I'm not going to do it. It's time for men to stand up, to start demanding what they want, because some of you men are the reason why these women are that way. And it's not always your fault if you were raised by your mama. But some of these men are the reason these women are that way, because also in those countries, you do have single-parent home, but the communities are more masculine. When you think about all those women that were deleted in Gambia, we'll talk about that at some point as well, and my heart goes out to those women in Africa that got deleted. Men don't tolerate disrespect in African countries. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, disrespect is not tolerated at all in African countries, at all.
At all, right. And so sassy women that get in men's faces and hit them, call them out of their names. What happens, man, based on what you've seen?
They get hit back. They get beaten back. And when they call the police don't do anything about it.
Right. So they don't enable them in their BS. That's what you're saying.
Yes, and that's the issue. I've met some American women in Africa, and they seem to have conformed a lot to realize, like, they're a lot more tamed because they realize number one, I'm in another country. If I get to yelling and all that, I'll be slapped back in place. And they realize that. A lot of the game, they've been humbled when they get over there.
Right. I've heard that. Let's get back to it. Hold tight.
Disrespectful, anything else? And you got to the deal breakers. This is supposed to be the part of what you want.
What do you mean?
Like, the question is, because in the deal breakers, you could say, I don't want a disrespectful woman. This question is, what kind of woman are you looking for? So I guess the good qualities that you desire should be your answers.
Like I said, how she talks to the man, he's respectful of his time. Please hit the gym. Please hit the gym, and the pH needs to be balanced as well.
Hit the
man, you're a gangster with that pH, man. You're a gangster with that pH. That's been your war cry for damn day one. Hold tight.
gym, pH is balanced. I have a lot of questions for you. I will get to your questions. Don't worry. Anything else before we go to your deal breakers?
No, go ahead.
Okay, let me read some of these questions. They're begging me to read these questions. So Marika, I can't pronounce your name, said he paid $100 to argue and to get some red pill followers.
I didn't pay nothing. I didn't ask nobody to pay nothing.
Wait, what does she mean get some red pill followers? What is she talking about?
I guess she thinks I'm trying to cross over back into that space. But she should do her research. And when I was in Zambia, I did a video about why I'm not in the red pill space. Right. Number one, it's never ending. It's there's no solution. Number two, I'm abroad.
Right.
I'm not dealing with that. It's depressed. When I wasn't, sometimes I would be in Paraguay or Uruguay and I'm cutting my hair and I'll listen to some red pill content and my energy would go down.
I respect that.
And I'm like, I cannot believe it's like being abused. And then you go back and you listen to somebody tell the story about how you were abused 20 years ago. It's like, I cannot believe I was in that environment.
But let me show you, I'm gonna challenge your talking point. You know I love you, man. The red pill content in my mind, there's nothing wrong with it per se, because it just means to be aware. Now there's a black pill moment or whatever. You're in the land of milk and honey. You learned the process by becoming aware, and you found your solution, and you left. The passport bro movement, even though I know you're loosely associated with that now and I know why, but you found the solution. And so when we talk about traveling abroad, that's part of the solution. When we talk about men becoming indifferent, that's part of the solution. So some of the talking points you talk about are actually red pill. But however, you're talking about the dread or the men that talk about it and don't be about it. Is that fair to say?
Yes. For example, like Fresh and Fit. Like that's a red pill channel. But what's the solution? Like, okay, what am I gonna, is this just entertainment? You know, is it just us clowning stupid women? You know, like when I first got on, I talked about red pill stuff and I was like, these women are like this, they do this, they do this. But try this. You know, that's the solution. It is good to make men aware, but we have to provide a solution at the same time.
Well, I think the conversation that you and I are having now is part of the solution. I think having my man Saul and me as a therapist telling men about elevating their standards, telling men about modifying their thoughts, telling men about addressing their issues through therapy. Because watch this, Austin, you know what I'm saying is true. If you're a simp in America, you're going to be a simp over abroad. If you don't know what your worth is in America, then some foreign women will play you and they'll tell you what your worth is. You got to do the work over here, get the help from me, a licensed therapist. Do non-diagnostic consultations while I work with you not being your therapist, because I'm a licensed therapist in the state of North Carolina, and we talk about issues that can get you ready to travel abroad. There are men that reach out to me, Austin, that want to go to DR, but they're not ready to go. Would you say some of the men that talk about world travel are actually ready to go? We know some are, but some are not because they compromise their power. What would you say about that?
About how some men compromise their power instead of actually living abroad.
Right, well, no, they compromise their power because they still simp when they go abroad. They mess the ecosystem up because they overvalue those women where the men there don't overvalue them. And meaning they need to do the work here before they travel abroad. Getting with a traditional masculine therapist like myself or my man Salty Balls that can help them. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so like I always say, if you have not been able to accomplish to sleep with one woman or date one woman seriously to actually experience the difference, you're not ready. You know, we have some dudes that get absolutely zero action in the States. I've seen this personally. They get zero action in the States and they go abroad and they get action, but it's not really what they want. They get women that are green carders, women that just want to use them for money, and they have a boyfriend at home, but they're just going to use them. Or they go commit to a escort, you know, and that could all be avoided if you, like, for example, I was able to date women. That's why I have the beliefs that I have, and I'm able to notice a difference. So when I got abroad, I had boundaries where I knew, like, this is what I dealt with before. I won't deal with that again. But if you don't stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. You know, if you don't have any real experience, you'll just take whatever comes to you because you don't have anything to base on.
Right. Shout out to my man, Big Boss Real Talk, Bossolini. He said, shout out to kosher clinician Austin Holloman. He said that Cynthia G got triggered. Austin, wait, hold up. He said that Cynthia G was triggered because Austin didn't kiss her ASS and still on business. Red pill is real though. And shout out to my man, Big Bass, Big Boss Real Talk, and Big Bass. Drop that beat, brother. Drop that beat for my man.
I am the one that take 2 just to make it. 3 if you hating, 4 your replacement. 5 I'm the best to survive in the matrix. 6 in you out, rest in peace to your baby. I am the one that take 2 just to make it. 3 if you hating, 4 your replacement. 5 I'm the best to survive in the matrix. 6 in you out, rest in peace to your baby. 7 if it ain't kosher, ain't 7. Hell is your home, but you looking for heaven. 7 if it ain't kosher, ain't 7. Hell is your home, but you looking for heaven. 7 if it ain't kosher, ain't 7. Hell is your home, but you looking for heaven. 7 if it ain't kosher, ain't 7. Hell is your home, but you looking for heaven. If it ain't kosher, ain't 7. If it ain't kosher, ain't 7. If it ain't kosher, ain't 7.
Well, also, we know that a lot of these American women ain't kosher because the pH is off, and hell is your home, and you're looking for heaven. And you've been all the way to heaven. You've been to Brazil, you've been to Colombia, you've been to broader Asian countries. You're living your life. Man, you got your swag is different, man. Your energy is different, man. You got your swag game on point. You've been lifting weights. What have you seen about yourself that you love that's made you a different man? What is it about your swag game now that's different compared to when you were here?
So, like I said, because I'm now, because there's areas of your life you should be confident in, and finances, physical appearance, being secure with yourself, and women. And women can impact a lot of that. And I had already worked on my I mean, I probably had, a little extra weight. I wasn't fat, but I had extra weight. I look better now. But whenever you don't have that closure, if you're still not getting the results that you feel you deserve from women, it'll never feel like you're complete. So whenever you complete that and you're like, I'm getting what I want, now I can further magnify those other parts of my life, like my physical appearance with how I dress, growing a beard, figuring out which beard style is right for me, picking which haircut is right. You can actually improve yourself further because you are getting, you want to test new things. Like, okay, I'm getting women now let me see how much better it can get if I grow a beard. Let me see how much better it gets if I wear a suit every day. Let me see how much better it gets if I get tattooed. You can actually learn more about yourself, and by doing that, you'll become more confident in yourself. And that's what happened to me. Like when I got to Africa, I threw away all the clothes I had before I was in Africa.
Yeah.
I threw them all out the window.
Right.
And I got a whole new batch of everything. I switched my whole look completely. My energy, Africa changed my energy 100%.
Yeah, I can tell, man. Your swag was different. You you had your shoes on. You look a different brother, man. Smooth, and you're still growing. You're still growing. Some of the older critics might say, well, you haven't lived like older men, and that's true, you haven't lived. But you still gain insight and valuable knowledge from older men. Is that fair to say?
Yes, always.
Right. What are some of the older African brothers, OGs, taught you about the game and women abroad and how to conduct yourself as a man?
Well, surprisingly, even though that they're a lot harsher on women in Africa, they taught me to actually be easy with them and treat them nice. And maybe that's because I'm a foreigner and I don't have the same amount of leverage. But it came to physical appearance. Like I wore looser fitting clothes and they were like, the women here don't like that. You need to wear this. You need to wear stuff that fits more to your body. You need to approach them like this. Like they taught me a lot of stuff. And whenever I was able, like, okay, I can get women that look like me. It's not just about black women, but now that I can get the women that look like me and I can get them as good as I want,
right?
It's like the sky is the limit now. Now it's all about me. Now I can improve myself.
I'm gonna ask you some more questions about it, but I'm gonna do this real quick. Hold tight.
You paid, somebody sent me $100 to pick you.
Yeah, I didn't send it. I didn't ask them to send it.
Oh, so somebody else sent it.
Yeah, that wasn't my name.
Okay, he said that wasn't his name. Courtney said he's live now using you. You're live now?
I was live first and they said you should call in because I was supposed to date a black woman here in Dallas, several black women in Dallas, but y'all know how y'all are, so.
How? Well, I don't live in Dallas, so I can't speak for the black. Not every black woman is the same, right? You can't make one statement.
I know they're not because I've been to Latin America and they're not the same.
Okay, you have to stop your live on your page though. So are you live right now?
I'll stop my live. Go ahead.
And I remember seeing that, man. You were live, so you didn't become live to go on her channel. I think I saw you going live. You just went live.
Yeah, I've been live for hours already.
Right. What was your take on her being difficult at that particular moment? What was your take on that?
It was just an excuse to get me off because the further that we went down there, and honestly, she's a bad businesswoman for that. Because anybody in the YouTube space knows a debate brings super chats.
Right.
A debate brings views, more subscribers.
Right.
And she can say, "Oh, I'm a journalist. I don't need the money." Who the hell is turning down money?
Right.
Nobody's doing it because some people like to come over to my channel and like, she doesn't need the money. $1,000 is $1,000.
It's $1,000. Right.
I don't care where you get it from.
Right. And it gives you more notoriety. It's going to help her. But I know that she used your content though. It's her content, but she used the content of you and her. And she was so distraught by it, she could have thrown it away. It is her show, but she could have just thrown it away and said, "I don't endorse that." But she did play it, so she must knew that they had some value to it. What would you say about that? Say
that one more time. You kind of lost me.
It's her content, but she used the content of you and her to push a narrative. My logic is, if she don't believe in your talking points or what you're saying or trying to implement, then don't give you no press at all. That's my point.
Yeah, I mean, if it goes against what your channel stands for, don't put it on there. But if she was a good businesswoman for YouTube, like Fox News does not promote stuff. Like they make Fox News off. They trash CNN and the Democrats to create Fox News. Like Fox News just trashes the other side. That's why they have so many viewers, because they're able to divide that, But she didn't think of it like that. She wants an echo chamber.
And so you say echo chamber. What do you mean? there's certain women that think the same way she thinks.
She just wants everybody to be yes, yes, yes. Black women are where there's nothing wrong with us. We don't need to do nothing. Those passport bros are stupid. She just wants to hear that.
Right. Whereas in other countries, women count on the honor and the pleasure to serve their men. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And American men have a higher premium. Is that fair to say?
Yes, especially if you self-improve.
So when you say self-improve, meaning self-aware, your self-esteem is high, you got your money right, you understand the landscape, you know how to move around with the high rollers.
Yes, because if you go to Brazil and just because you're American doesn't increase your value, because if you're American and you don't have any personality, she can go find a Brazilian that has just as much money as you do with personality. Like, all Brazilian guys aren't broke, but being American, on average, we will be more valuable when it comes to finances. Yes.
Right. Okay, hold tight.
I'm gonna stop my live too.
So I didn't understand that. She abruptly stopped the live. But hold tight. I want listen to what she says next. This telling.
I don't got time. How about that? You stop your live. I'm gonna stop my live, and all the lives are stopped. Okay. Listen, can y'all build your own shit, please? Can all y'all build your own pages and your own platforms without trying to call and use my good ass, hard ass work? Put in the work just like I put in the work and build your own shit. But
also, I would say you've done more work because salacious content is easy.
Yes.
Taking talking points from Kevin Samuels and flipping it, that's easy. So I mean, I get it, but I don't understand people that go on YouTube, then get mad at people using their commentary when they use other people's commentary. Before Kevin died, she was on his show maybe 1 or 2 times trying to get some notoriety. Don't that sound a bit hypocritical to you?
Well, let's say this, right? She says, can you build your own channel? Can you put in the work? She's been on YouTube a lot longer than I have.
Right.
And I'm looking at her channel. It says she has 2,300 views. 2,300 videos. I have 1,400 videos, and I've only been doing this for 2 years.
Right.
By the time how long has she been on YouTube? Maybe 5, let's say 5 years.
Right.
In 5 years, I will be at where she's at now. Like, if we want to break down the ratio per year, I put in more work than she has.
You have put in more work because you've been traveling. You're doing a lot more videos too. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I started my channel from the ground up. My Austin Holloman was built off of TikTok in my kitchen. I didn't have to use Kevin Samuels. That's the difference.
And would you argue that she's sort of taking his talking points and flipped it in her own way? But you argue that?
Yes.
And what way do you see it? In what way do you see her flipping it and more or less using to her own benefit, in your opinion?
Well, with the call-in strategy, the call-in strategy, trying to match, what do you want? What's the problem with this? I'm not going to say Kevin Samuels was the first one to do it, but he was the first.
No, he's not. Right. And Kevin sort of, embraced different styles, but he took it to a whole different level. Kevin got some of his talking points from others and sort of flipped it, but it sounds very hypocritical to say people are using her content. And shout out to my man Malik for the 5. Shout out to Malik and her hard ass work. What's hard about interviewing modern women that got a bunch of baggage? I don't see how that's hard. Educate me. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, yeah, I could do that. I could do that. Anybody could do that. But that's this goes back to, I don't want to just complain. I want to figure out the solution, which I have. It's worked for me. And I want to show other people, if you relate to my problems, you can try this too. Some people say Kendra has been known. Okay. Kendra has been known. Why am I catching up to her then if she's so far ahead of me?
Right.
I'm about to hit 100,000 subscribers
right
in a week.
Right.
Right. she's been on here a lot longer than I have.
Mhm.
So what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long she's been known. The results. I'm a guy. I'm a man. First of all, we go off results, not emotion.
Right.
We don't give a damn about how you feel.
Right.
What does the data say?
Right. And you have been working. I mean, you think about all the countries. I mean, even the early interviews I remember you doing a while ago when Al Greaves and I and all of us would do shows together. You did a lot of interviews with American women, and the results were unanimous, to say the least. Hold tight.
All you want to do is get black women upset so they can start. Black women, y'all should really take the advice. I don't care. If you want to date a white woman, go ahead. I don't care. Latin women, I don't care. Asian women, I don't care. Go and date them. Don't spend your time worried about us. We don't, what you say, we don't work out. We talk back. We want you to make a lot of money. Okay. So you don't want us. We don't want you. It sounds like.
But my logic is, Austin, instead of becoming combative about it, ask yourself the question, what can I do to better get the results that I want from black men? Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would. And I want to bring up a comment somebody left in the comments that says, if she was a journalist, she would have kept me on the show to show a different perspective.
Right,
let me ask you this.
Right, I agree. That's what I was thinking. That's called journalistic integrity. But go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
When does Tucker Carlson interview people that he only agrees with?
Right. That's an excellent point.
He's a journalist.
He's a journalist.
Does Ben Shapiro interview people that he only agrees with?
Right.
A real journalist would know that you have to have, in order for you to keep traction, you have to show two sides. For example, if your local news just reported every day, oh, we just fed 1,300 children. Oh, we helped the dog shelter. Oh, we helped the homeless shelter. That people would stop watching the news.
Mm-hmm.
But if you show, oh, we have this many homicides this week. Mm-hmm. We have people want to tune in because people like drama.
Right.
That's what a real journalist would do.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I agree. And it's also journalistic integrity. I've seen I call my man, call him Elmer Fudd. What's his name? Jesse Lee Peterson. He interviews multiple different people, but he don't just abruptly cut them off and then turn around and make angry comments towards the guests because you disagree with them and you had a narcissistic rage. Watch this.
It sounds like an equal category. Many, many years ago, and I'll never forget this. And it's so old because it was the Oprah Winfrey Show. And Steve Harvey was on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I think he was up there for the tour for his book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. And a woman in the audience said, she was talking about when she sees black men with white women and how it bothered her. And Steve Harvey said, ladies, the black men that y'all see with white women, y'all don't want those men anyways. And I never forgot it. And then I kid you not, every time I meet a black man that dates a woman that's not black, we don't want him anyways. We don't want him.
That sounds. So based on that logic, also women don't want Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan got a white Colombiana. Based on that logic, what's that brother, that high tech brother that gave a lot of money to black schools and black women got mad? That's illogical to me.
Well, here's my thing: are African women and Afro Latinas not considered black on a worldwide spectrum?
They are. They're from the continent.
Go to Brazil. The Afro-Brazilians are called negros.
Negros, yes, sir.
That means black.
Right.
And the A means a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she talking about if you want to date a woman that's not black? This is why I say women should not be in charge of anything. Because
you clearly said that I like Africans and Afro-Latin women.
Yeah, so and my channel shows that. My channel, I'm not just saying that. Mm-hmm. My channel shows that.
Right.
I spent 6 months in Africa. I went to Cali, Colombia. I had 2 Afro-Colombians on camera. I had many Afro-Brazilians on camera. You know, where are we getting this I don't like black women from?
Right. You said it clearly, and you know what I noticed, man. You can say the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and people still don't hear you because of the cognitive dissonance. You can say over and over again you like black women. You can say over and over again they are good sisters, and they don't get it. And it's baffling, man, to say the least. And look, man, I'm happy for you, man. You know, the work you're doing. Whether you associate with Passport Bros or Manosphere, I understand why you said for some of the things you said, because of the connotation for some. But even though if you're not directly tied to the Manosphere, your talking points are Manospherian. And even being a global traveler, you might not be a black passport bro, but you're a passport brother because you're traveling abroad and you're living your life. So I understand why you say the things you say, but hold tight.
Listen, let me say this. I actually love Kanye West. I know Kanye West in real life, and Kanye West has done a lot of things for my career. But I don't know not one black woman that want to walk around barefoot around this motherfucking earth with no clothes. I don't know any black woman that wants to be his wife. Not one. Not one. So all the black men who don't want black women, we are.
Do you think Kanye didn't get with black women because of women like Kendra G and got to women he deemed to be softer? Or do you think black women don't want Kanye West? Because I don't believe that. What's your take on that?
All women want Kanye West. All women want Kanye West. But what my question is, why is she talking about this?
Right.
Where did she get barefoot and pregnant?
Right.
Did I say anything about women sitting around? We didn't even get to that. We didn't get to pregnancy or none of that.
Right. Because everything that they see around black men is through the lens of negativity, victim, predators. It's projection, it's vicarious trauma, it's the minimization of masculinity. It's always through a negative lens. But when you travel abroad, correct me if I'm wrong, women see the inherent good in a man because men are valued, partially because the men demand it, but also they don't have all the benefits the women in the West have. What would you say about that?
Say that one more time. I kind of lost that.
No, you're fine. I said that men are valued abroad and that women in other countries don't have all the inherent benefits that women in the West have. So they value the essence of a man. They value what men bring to the table because they're not getting government subsidies or sponsorships, but also they respect the essence that a man brings to the table.
Yes, and again, that's because of culture.
It's culture, right?
Governments create culture. In the Middle East, women aren't going to be disrespectful because at one point in Saudi Arabia, women couldn't even drive. Women could be in the same. If a woman has a man, and if she's married to a man, and the plumber comes over to fix the toilet, she cannot be in the same room as that plumber without the man being there. So naturally, the culture is going to make her respect men more. But here in the United States, women don't need you, so they don't respect you. My thing is, I don't have to deal with that.
Right. Well, they say they don't need us because your grandfather, your father, and your great-grandfather created the infrastructure that they benefit from. The platform that she's on was created by mankind and men. The buildings that she lived in and do her lives from was created by men. It's funny. It's almost like the devil. The devil thought he was greater than God, but God created the devil and God created the world and the instruments that God created that the devil can utilize. But women have never created anything outside of themselves. Good women understand that and they value their men, but delusional women don't. So men have created a world for women so comfortable. Now they don't need men, but a time is coming, Austin. The book said there will be a time where there's 7 women to 1 man, and it's going to happen because men all abroad, white and black, are checking out. They're becoming indifferent because of the incessant narcissism and the lack of respect for men. Hold tight.
Okay, and we are giving you permission to focus on the other races that you say treat you better. We are fine with it. We are not worried about it. And let me tell you why we're not worried about it. Because we know we the shit.
Now, look at how she doubled down. We know we the ish. That's self-projected. But hold tight.
Let me tell you something. My biggest sauce that God ever gave me was being a Black woman. That's my superpower. That's my superpower.
Let me tell you
run everything.
Go ahead, brother.
Blacks in the United States have the least amount of power.
Talk about it.
So your biggest sauce is being part of the least beneficiary group in the United States.
Right.
That's your biggest sauce.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by biggest sauce? Explain that.
Well, I guess what she's saying by biggest sauce is her biggest bragging point, that's her bragging point. Is right. She's a Black woman, the most unmarried, combative, overweight. And I'm not saying this to shit on Black women, but this is what the data shows.
Yeah, you're just stating the facts, right?
Overweight, unmarried, combative.
Combative and high body counts.
And high body counts.
And people think, Austin, that most men, you might be a lucky guy that got your share of women, but every man ain't getting women like you. Would you agree with that?
I would agree.
Most men are not getting women like that. The average man probably been with maybe five women to maybe 10 at the most. You might have had your share, but every man is not getting it in like that. And that's what many don't understand. They just think that men, when they say men, they think that the top value men, the lower value men are getting women like the high value men. And that's not true. Average men are getting with average women, and they're satisfied with that. That's why they overindulge and compromise too much of their power.
You can't have anything working without a Black woman being a part of it. It's just a fact. Think about
that. Sounds arrogant to me, man. Don't that sound very arrogant? That sounds very arrogant to me.
What have Black women built?
Right. What have they built? What infrastructures have they built?
And I don't like to ever know down to one race, but since she's going there, what have they built?
Right, especially in modern times. Or what have they helped how have they helped Black men build it? See, Fannie Lou Hamer, Austin, said she was grateful to be alongside with her Black man. There was a woman by the name of Betty Wright. She said, woman to woman, she said, I love that man. They understood the importance of being alongside their men, helping them build and supporting them in the mission. The American Black woman have been conditioned to be like a lot of American white women, where they think by default they deserve the best, and they forgot how to love a man, they forgot how to support a man, and they forgot how to show a man respect. Also, when you were getting respect abroad, did it not make you feel empowered and more invigorated as a man?
Absolutely, because in order to maintain a woman, you have to maintain yourself. Mm-hmm. So if you want to maintain that euphoria you have to keep yourself up. Mm-hmm. For example, when I'm in Latin America or in Africa and I'm getting all the respect and I'm getting everything I want, I'm not going to slack on my content because this is how I get paid. No matter how much fun I'm having, I have to stay on top of this to keep that experience up.
Right.
If I'm not getting it, where's the motivation coming from?
Right.
The humans, let me say this. Men, our bodies are created to reproduce. So we're naturally going to have the desire for women. I mean, you can ejaculate 20 times a day if you really wanted to. Mm-hmm. You know, you probably wouldn't have anything left, but you could. Therefore, what men do, we constantly improve ourselves to improve our chances of getting a mate.
Right. And not only getting a mate that's cooperative and a mate that's going to inspire him. Teddy Austin said it better than me. He talked about a song called The Mona Lisa. And Teddy said that you inspire me, but Ron Osley said it better than Teddy. He said, touch me, baby. Drive me wild. You got some of that feminine energy that was outstanding. It knocked you out. And you've been on a tailspin, man. You're growing. You're becoming more mature. You're learning. Have you fell in love yet? You know, because a lot of the critics don't understand that you're just traveling and enjoying your life. But have you fell in love yet?
I haven't been.
I came close. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I came close a couple. Now, yeah, that's a better way to say it. I've came close a couple times. The reason I would say that I have not is because I haven't been in one place long enough with, one person long enough. But I've had, not all these foreign women are great. Not all of them.
Right.
But there's some places where it seems like it, like Kenya, like Brazil, but like Cali, Colombia. But I have came very close. But whenever I do stop traveling, that's after probably 80 to 100 countries, I'll be able to stay in one place where I will be able to actually unwind with one person.
I saw that beautiful Peruvian woman you were talking to. Her energy was so refreshing, man. She said she was she Afro-Latin or Zambo or Morena? Or
I think
African roots?
she
had African roots.
She was like a mixture of races, but she said that her mother told her she had a great grandfather that was black, and that's, I guess, where she gets her features from.
Right. Yeah. You can see it, man. She was so refreshing, man. Her energy, man. Very, very refreshing. Hold tight.
All the things you need in life. You're going to need a black woman. Matter of fact, you came from a black woman. Because if your black mama didn't have your black ass, you wouldn't even be here on earth. We're superheroes. So if you don't...
And that's the same old BS that these liberals say. They're superheroes. But correct me if I'm wrong. If your dad didn't ejaculate inside your mama, you wouldn't have been here. Your dad determined your destiny when you were swimming from his semen sac, his sperm, his scrotum. So when I hear that nonsense, it's delusional because women can't create nothing outside of themselves. The seed of man determines life. It determines the gender of a child. Without the seed of a man, there is no life. The woman is just a carrier. The man determines whether it's going to be a boy or girl. What would you say about that?
Yes, I would have. It takes two to make a baby.
Right.
But in America, men, and this is again back to American culture, it's not even about black women because it's going on in the white community. Men should not be valued for anything. We shouldn't take credit for anything because we've oppressed women throughout history. But why are black women coming for black men about oppressing? There's not one black man in North or South America that can, damn sure not in South America, that can oppress anything. Black people in South America don't exist publicly.
Right.
Maybe in Colombia, they had, whatever that shit was, a female vice president, didn't matter.
Right.
But do black people exist in South America? In North America, when have we had the power to oppress anybody?
I've said that multiple times. We never created policy, and they can never answer the question. At the policy level, which is the macro level, when did black men have power to oppress black women unilaterally? We did. We never had power. Black men and black women were working together. Right before the 60s, black men and black women were doing good together. But they listened to the lie of the serpent, Austin. They listened to the lie of the serpent. Gloria, what's that feminist name? Gloria Allred, Gloria Steinem, and many other women. They listened to the voice of the serpent, and they're about to sing that song by Patti LaBelle soon.
Follow me, baby. The elders are old and out of touch. I have the power to help you become the better version of yourself. Listen to me. I know what's best for you. I am the Snake Whisperer.
They've been listening to the Snake Whispers.
Yes.
It appears that Kendra G. Kendra G also might be a snake whisperer because you notice how she put black women above the greater collective of the black man and the black family. A man will know that a woman is down for him when she values her father and all others and community over everything. Women that put black women first, they're selfish, and you can't take them serious for wives or girlfriends. They love simps to tell them what they want to hear. And in foreign countries, I don't think men simp as much as they do here in America. Is that fair to say?
No, not at all. I've been all around the world, and there's some places. I haven't been in Nigeria, but I heard it's big there. Nigerians go to Kenya and they do it. Some Africans in general do it, but it's not as big in other countries as it is in Ghana and Nigeria. In Chile, it's a thing, but that's 3-4 countries out of almost 200.
Right. You're talking about as far as simping, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Hold tight.
Recognize that. We're okay with it. Go where you think it's better and have a happy life. Flatliner 24 said, here's 100 to hang up on him, Kendra. I don't want no sucker on here trolling black queens. He's insulting your channel and trolling you. Well, you know one thing I will say, y'all know, actually yesterday, I think I posted all men. It was a plethora of black men back to back. And people were saying, oh, we're realizing that, I know, listen, there's money in it, I guess, when it comes to black women. So people want to focus on that. But my show is not just a black woman show. All people are on my show. So if you only focus on a black woman on my show, that means you're not talking about the show in its entirety. They're saying that he's still recording child. Let him get his money, child. He said he's a YouTuber. He probably got rent due. You know, times get hard when rent can't get due. So
what you think about that disrespect, brother? Did you hear me?
Oh, about the guy donating money.
No, about she's saying that your rent is due and because you still recording.
Yeah, I don't have rent.
Right,
I don't have rent.
Right.
The closest I got to rent is a car note and insurance. And you know, this is why, again, women should not be in control of anything because men don't make assumptions without asking questions. If she would have asked, she wouldn't have said that silly foolishness.
Right. She would have understood that. Yeah. But I guess they don't listen. It's an emotional response, and you know what emotional responses are. Also, emotional responses are emotional damage. And when they get that emotional damage, here comes Austin 3C.
Emotional.
Give the people what they want. You giving the people what they want, Austin. Some don't like it. Shout out to my man Salted Balls for the hold tight. Shout out to my man Salted Balls for the 10. He said Gloria Steinem, Margaret Sanger, Susan B. Anthony, and Elizabeth Cody Stanton are the snakes that whisper in the ear that the she-heatery and Flatliners 24 can choke on uncooked asparagus. Shout out to my man Salted Balls for the 10. Shout out to my man DeFrank for the 5. He said, keep rocking, man. I think the biggest hindrance in America is the infrastructure. You have to drive to connect to others, and that's costly now. What do you think about that, Austin?
You have to drive to connect others. Can you put that super chat? Keep rocking, man.
Go ahead, brother.
Yes. I said this recently in one of my videos. The reason that I think is America is so antisocial and people don't respect other people is because of the setup. It's built on freedom. It's not really built on very many morals. And everything is designed for people to be selfish. You need your own car. You need your own house. You need to be independent. You know, when I'm in Latin America, and I was talking about this last night, when I date women, they have to lie. Because they have to lie to come spend the night with me because they still have a family structure. You know, and we've lost that family structure where now it's pretty much just a free for all at this point. And it's all individualism. Right.
Yeah, it is very individualistic. And it's going to be the downfall of America. Hold tight.
So he need black, like I said, what did I say? Nothing survives without black women's support. So if I'm quite sure he is recording my show because
but she said nothing survives without black woman support, but they don't support black men. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't see a lot of black women supporting black men en masse. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Not in the past 20 years.
Right, not in the past 20 years. I don't see them supporting black men en masse. So I don't know what she meant by that statement. But then that goes back to the goddess complex. That goes back to what Kamala Harris said. You remember what Kamala said, right?
What?
Kamala said that black women are the backbone of society. They're the backbone of the black community. What do you say about that?
How?
Right.
Provide examples when you come with these claims. When you make these claims, they should provide examples.
Right. No, I agree. I agree 100%. Guys, the one that said my mic is low. Y'all might have to turn y'all's up. Austin, can you hear me good on your end?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You can hear me better now, or you couldn't hear me at all?
Before it was lower, but it's been good for the past 2 weeks.
Okay, it's been good. All right. I pulled it down a little closer. Okay, so I hope you guys can hear me better now. All right, let me finish listening to this. And I got a few more questions to ask.
He needs a black woman to get his bills paid. Point taken.
So look at the shame. The shaming language, brother. This woman was so triggered by your response that she said you need a black woman to get your bills paid. How? Is she saying that you need to use her, I don't know, $100 to get your bills paid? Explain that.
That $100 didn't go to me. I've raised many 5-figure digits in 2023 in super chats with no black women present.
Right.
You know, my highest, I don't bash black women, but since she's going to go there, my highest viewed videos are from Kate, a Thai woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's been paying me the most in the past 16 months.
You said a what?
14 months.
You said a Thai woman or a Thai video?
The Kate, she was a Thai woman, and I had her in my videos. I raised the most money out of her being on my channel than anybody else on the channel.
Gotcha. Hold tight. My man Saul back up. Hold tight.
Take it. Point taken. Yes, you need black women to pay your bills. Because without me, you would be homeless. I know, honey. I know.
Do you see this woman say you would be homeless without her, but you started your platform. You got plenty of donations from multiple men way before Kendra G. So that sounds very immature on her behalf. Very immature and very ignorant. Very ignorant and immature. Because you've been making money for the longest, man. So where's this cognitive dissonance coming from, this ad hominem? Because she's not making any sense, man.
Again, this is why women shouldn't be in charge of anything. She's responding out of emotion.
Right, because you was a 6-figure earner as a barber. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Cutting men's hair.
Cutting men's hair. Right. So men have always made you money. Hold tight.
You are my community service project for the week. I ain't mad at you, boo. I ain't mad at you, boo. Get your light bill paid. Get your, I don't know, whatever bill paid. I know you can't survive without a black woman. So that's my thank you to you. Ciao.
And that's grandiosity on her behalf. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Got it.
How you doing, Austin? This is Salty Balls. Shout out to you, man, for bringing into more or less black male popular culture, especially with young men, the sort of travel bone, man. I appreciate you for that. And I just had 1 or 2 questions. As you're seeing all the sort of meltdown that you haven't seen here of the Wicked Witch of the West, right? Quite literally. My question for you is about, it's not directly related to this. It's about language. When it comes to language, how much does one miss out on the culture by not learning the language?
100%. You miss out on 100% of the culture because, number one, you don't understand the music. You don't understand the television. You don't understand the street signs. You cannot actually connect with somebody that's only Peruvian, that's only Colombian. You have to connect with those that have already been exposed to anything that English exposed them to. So, for example, if a Brazilian moves here, I mean, she could get the culture out of me, but because I'm from here. But if she only knows Portuguese, I cannot. That's not my primary language. I can't fully connect with her the same way. She doesn't understand the slang. She doesn't understand everything the way how I do in English.
Got you. Okay.
I'm gonna ask him a question. He got to go, but I want you to before I let you go. Also, hold tight, Saul. Real quick, the most masculine country that you've been in, and the country where women respect men the most. Before I let you go, and then I'll also ask you one more question. Go ahead.
The most masculine country I've been in was Brazil.
Okay.
Women respected me the most in Brazil as well.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Saul. Go ahead, brother. Real quick.
This is more or less a double barrel question. Okay. Just real quickly. How does women abroad take rejection?
So, harsh rejection happens everywhere in the world, but it's more of a. Are you talking about if I reject them?
Yes. Yes, 100%.
I haven't done that much. I haven't had to reject too many of them, but I don't get called gay. They don't say that I need to pay their bills. Or whatever the hell Kendra just said. They don't say that kind of stuff. They don't really take it to heart the way how they do here. Like, if you don't like a chick here, she automatically put you in the gay category.
Right.
You can't just not be attracted to her. For some reason, you have to be attracted to her, otherwise you're gay.
Right.
Okay, so this leads to my last question. From the outside looking in, us as the audience, we may have seen things that you might not have seen. Okay. And when there was an initial engagement, there happened to be the sort of appearance that Kendra in a lot of ways seemed to be attracted to you. Do you think that was more of a sort of a hard rejection response that will be typical of a Black female? That's just simply theory. Not saying that she wanted to date you or anything like that. I don't want to make any assumptions, but you think the response would be parallel to what you would experience in the States?
100%. Because I've had that happen. They don't take rejection easily, and they will go off on a tangent the same way how she just did.
Interesting. Maybe you were the very package that she's seen leaving the country, and it might have been very well triggered.
But listen,
stay triggers, brother, and thank you for allowing me to ask some questions.
No doubt, man. You both have been awesome. Also, I want to thank you, man, for being so gracious with your time, your audience, your people. You got some soldiers, man, following you, man. I know you said before you close, you want to lead more men to freedom. Do you think the tide is closing as many men are beginning to travel abroad? Do you think you're closing that tide?
What do you mean by closing the tide?
Meaning that more men are becoming more aware. They're beginning to see what their worth is, and they're beginning to travel abroad to get the kind of women that can give them the love and support that they need overall. Do you think what you're doing is as a vlogger and as a journalist, because that's what you're doing in your own way, do you think it's changing the narrative globally?
Yes, and that is my objective. Is to, at one point I had in my bio, my goal is to show you what countries are really like. Mm-hmm. People think that if you go to Brazil, you're going to get robbed off the plane. I've shown you that that's not the case. Mm-hmm. I've shown you that if you go to Africa, it's not a bunch of terrorism and people with malnourished, oversized bellies running around the country. Like, it's that they only highlight those things to keep you from traveling.
Right.
I think it was Nomad Capitalist I heard say that it was like a marketing. The countries market against other countries to keep you in their country.
Right. Well, listen, man, I'm proud of you, man. Stay safe. Whatever country you go to next, maybe I might link up with you, man. I just came back from DR. I've enjoyed foreign travel. It's fun. I enjoy meeting the natives. Being a therapist, I'm striving to be a travel therapist and do a lot of my work globally while I get the chance to travel and also film. And I'm enjoying it, man. I'm proud of you. I think you're being the trendsetter. You're changing the narrative, and let the haters hate. And once again, man, I'm gonna let you go. I know you got to go, and I know you're pressed for time, man. I appreciate it once again, brother, for your kindness. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Take care. Be good. All right, shout out to my man Ken St. Patrick for the 5. Ken said Brazil is king forever king. He said good content, brothers. I appreciate it. So before we end, man, any closing comments, man, before we end? And thank you once again to all the Austin people that watched and supported the stream. Any closing comments, brother?
First thing first, thank you for having me up. Shout out to Austin Holloman and his people that came through to support the great kosher clinician. For those who consume the content, if it hasn't been abundantly clear yet, between the sort of dichotomy of narcissism and their sort of codependent simps, the level of pathology that we have here and how it affects people, don't get intertangled into that little web there. Be indifferent, travel, self-develop, learn a new language, and let it be new beginnings, because as Austin is investing in his legacy, so should you.
All right, no doubt. Shout out to my
balls, and I'm out.
No doubt, no doubt. I appreciate it. Shout out to my man, Ray Money for the 5. Thank you, brother. And also shout out to my man MC Harris for the 5. Guys, I thank you for y'all guys for being so kind. We would have had a live call in, guys, but it's late. But I appreciate all the brothers that showed me and Austin love on tonight, guys. We know they still lying, guys, and we know that a lot of it is emotional damage. And because of that, many men are checking out, and they're checking out for a myriad of reasons, guys, because a lot of men are checking out mostly because a lot of brothers are frustrated and they're tired of the treatment here in America. Black men are checking out because they're frustrated. Go check out Al Grease and Frustrated 3.
When you date a woman and she may be a potential wife, it's a competition thing all the way. I can't take it no more.
They feel propped up because they feel more beholden to the government. And then their man comes second. That's why they figure that they're strong, independent, don't need no man, because they have the government.
Because the men are failing us, to be honest. Guys thinking about themselves, and they'll think about you after you react.
You don't hear anything about being good wives and all this other stuff. What you hear is you're strong and you independent. You can do it on your own. You got black girl magic, black girl rock, but you ain't said nothing about black family.
My mother is like what they consider to be the strong black woman. I feel like I projected that onto the guys that I dated.
Ladies have no idea how stiff their competition really is. You have no clue how black men are viewed in the rest of the world. We are the #1 most sexually desired man on the face of this planet.
They would call Jesus Dusty if he was here living in America because of the gross narcissism that a lot of our women have.
When men fail to lead, the children rebel and the women take over.
Nigga ass, loser ass nigga.
Your video with comments about
He's a
certain
loser.
other female. Just to let you niggas know, we don't need y'all. We want y'all, but we don't need y'all.
20 years later.
Our black men, we want all y'all back. Because we love you, we see you, kings. And most importantly, we need you. And most importantly, we need you.
And most importantly, we need you.
You can't.
If you a that's for the streets.
You can't delete the ski. You can't delete the ski.
I know a who used to suck dick every month of night.
You can't
delete your.
I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over. And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you. But I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
To exclusively marry black men. We are in the middle of a crisis. Black men are in crisis. And anybody who denies that black men are in crisis is ignoring the data, the science, the research, the statistics. It is not a figment of your imagination that there are not enough eligible black men to marry.
It's been an honor serving with you all. Autobots, roll out. We roll.
Nanobots, transform.
She lie on them brothers, separate uncles and nephews and cousins and try to pin us against mothers. How you a woman but ain't got a man for protection, but you undercover? How do you think that we suffer? Thought we were sisters and brothers. Now you get birthed in the gutter. When they rap, they the same ones that cut you. Be the same ones who yell and they love you. Be the same ones who calling me nigga. After that, wanna say I'm his brother. Yeah, she lie on them brothers. 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 So all going on in your man, you don't get it. And using your women as splitters, then hit us. Put you in place and our family ruined. Target your boys, you don't see what they doing. We gotta beat them, you wanna join them, we just leave them. Your feminist feminism, more like treason. Politics, you don't even follow leaders. First is master, probably cause of your Jesus.
God is white. Isn't it obvious? Well, that is obvious, but we don't know if it's obvious that God is white. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Jesus did not have blonde hair and blue eyes. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the images of Jesus that are on prison walls and churches throughout the world are not historically correct, because history teaches us that Jesus was born in a region where the people had color. There's proof in the very Bible that you ask us to read in Revelation, 1st chapter, verse 14 and 15, that Jesus had hair like wool and feet the color of brass. Just what are you saying? I'm not saying anything. I'm proving to you that Jesus was not, and I might quote one of our Indian brothers, he was not a pale face.
This would have been a dick, you been believe it. You reap the benefits from your achievements. Penitentiary, all we get is to eat it. But God on our side, baby, we gon' beat it. She lie on them brothers. She lie on them brothers.
I'm big on you. I'm the biggest, baddest beast.
Separate uncles and nephews and cousins and try to pin us against mothers. How you a woman but ain't got a man for protection, but you undercover? How do you think that we suffer? Thought we were sisters and brothers. Now you get birthed in the gutter. When they rap, they the same ones that cut you. Be the same ones who yell and they love you. Be the same ones who calling me nigga. After that, wanna say I'm his brother. She lie on the brothers. 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 She lie on the brothers.
Breaking all these black men with what? And they don't give a fuck. Yeah, this man hit me with fucking grabbed a rock and it hit me in my fucking face because I would have given him my number. And all y'all just fucking watch. You don't see that shit? You don't see that shit? What y'all gonna do? I want y'all to be a man. I want y'all to be a man and fucking do something. Y'all gonna let a man hit me in my face.
Roll out, transform, 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 roll out.
Fire for your mind. Culture clinician.
If it ain't seven, it ain't culture. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women, clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters, acting like vultures. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
All right, guys, we're going to end the stream on tonight. Thank you for everyone tuning in. I'm going to read out the super chats real quick, And guys, we're going to end this stream. Thank you once again from my man, Austin Holloman. And we're going to end this stream, guys. Let me read out these super chats real quick. And I'm going to get out of here. I got to get up in the morning and see some patients. And keep teaching the good news and more or less empowering black men to live their lives on their own terms. Because that's the name of the game. For brothers, young and old, to live their lives on their own terms. So shout out number one to my man, Gregory Scotland. He and the Quiet Storm are the number one sponsors for the 20. Shout out to my man, once again, Gregory Scotland once again for the 10. Shout out to Salty Balls for the 10. Shout out to Top Gun once again for the 10. Shout out to Gregory Scotland once again for the 10. Shout out to a seed for the 10. Shout out to y'all Borgen for the 10. Shout out to Barry Hamilton for the 5. Shout out to Top Gun for the 5. Gregory Scotland once again for the 5. JL Presence for the 5. Top Gun for the 5 again. Shout out to Gregory Scotland once again for the 5. Shout out to Top Gun. Shout out to MC Recovery and Wellness for the 2. Shout out to Marcus B for the 2. Shout out to the International Quiet Storm for the 5. Shout out to the International Quiet Storm again for the 50 spot. Shout out to MC Recovery and Wellness for the 2. Shout out to Gregory Scotland once again for the 10. Shout out to Afro National for the 5. Shout out to my man, Big Boss Real Talk for the 7. Shout out to Salty Balls for the 10 again. Shout out to Deep Frank for the 5. Shout out to Ken St. Patrick for the 5. And also shout out to my man Ray Money for the 5. Guys, y'all have been awesome. Shout out once again to my man Austin Holloman, guys. And you guys have been great on tonight. We're going to end this stream, guys. I want y'all to start loving yourselves. Never say die. Never minimize your worth as a man. Always live above and beyond what you can. Remember this, guys, at the end, they have no power but the power that you give them. Get with a good woman that's going to love you, honor you, and respect you if you've done the work. My show is not for dusty men. My show is for hardworking, blue-collar men, white-collar men, and men that have dignity and standards. And align yourself with good sisters that love you, respect you, and don't disrespect you as a man. So, guys, we're signing off. And while we're signing off, Austin Holloman and many other men are laughing all the way to the bank, guys. I appreciate it. Be well. The time has come, guys. The time has come as it's 35 minutes after the hour, 12 o'clock in the greatest state in the Union, the Tar Heel State. This has been another great one, guys, as we talk about emotional damage and the behaviors of modern women. Are you ready to be liberated? If you are, what are you going to do about it? Be well.
50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s. F it to the bank like pedal to the floor, need no brake lights. In the dark, watch it make light. I'm a star, got no stage fright. Please don't get me mad, I'm a nice guy. My baby say I'm cute, yeah, I'm tight fine. I be waking up when you go night-night. In a different zone with the time. Laugh it to the bank like ha 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 ha. Ooh, go. Laugh it to the bank like ha 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 ha. Ooh, yeah. I got in it 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s. I get it, I flip it and continue. I've been going dumb, I've been going mental. Going up, I'm on another level. All black clothes like a medal. Little this and this, little Ricky Rick. It's my grandmama, I'm her Nicky Nick. I just wanna love, but I've been hit or miss. I might up and leave, better take a pic. Laugh it to the bank like ha 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 ha. Go. Laugh it to the bank like ha 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 ha. Yeah. I got any 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20,